Welcome.
Greetings, Chairwoman Leyva, Chairman O'Donnell, and honorable members of the Senate and Assembly Committees on Education.
My name is Evan Rosales. I'm a senior at San Benito High in the San Benito High School District in San Benito County.
My name is Isla Chimen. I'm a junior at Credo High School in the Cotati-Rohnert Park School District not in San Benito County, in Sonoma County.
Very good.
My name is Alyssa Escamilla. I'm a senior at San Marino High School in San Marino in the Los Angeles County. Victim Rights Law Center's senior legal counsel, Colby Bruno, stated, "However bad you think that a college campus's lack of accountability is on sexual assault, go back 15 years before, and that's what you're looking at for high schools." The lack of accountability and transparency involving sexual abuse and harassment cases on high school campuses has led to the mistreatment of such cases and has cultivated a sense of mistrust in relationships among students and faculty. This is detrimental to facilitating an effective learning environment. We propose California mandate all schools clearly publicize their sexual harassment and assault protocols in frequented places within schools, making it accessible to their student body, as well as post the number of suspensions and expulsions relating to sexual assault and sexual harassment on the school dashboard under the existing published expulsion and suspension numbers. In many cases, it is the fear of judgment and societal stigmas holding students back from coming forward and sharing their trauma. At San Benito High School, a student was bullied for reporting a sexual assault. Friends of the perpetrator would push her at school and say, "Is that considered rape?" because they didn't want to believe the person in question actually did this. This made others shy away from bringing up their own situations to school authorities after seeing the treatment she received for reporting her assault. This situation is not uncommon. According to the National Sexual Violence Resource Center, only 12% of all sexual abuse against children is ever reported to authorities. According to the Department of Justice, approximately 70% of rape and assault victims experience moderate to severe distress, a larger percentage than for any other violent crime. This is unacceptable. There needs to be a radical change in the way students are educated on reporting instances of sexual assault and harassment. Our group asked ourselves what steps we should take if we were to face a similar situation of having to report sexual harassment or assault. Few of us knew who we would turn to or what steps we would need to take to report an incident. We acknowledge the California Health Framework aims to standardize health education with curriculum involving healthy, positive, and safe relationships and behaviors. We hope that this proposal will expand upon and reinforce the revisions made and serve as both a proactive and reactive solution to the mistreatment of these cases within California schools.
In addition to what my colleague Alyssa has presented, my peers and I find that it is in the public right to have easily accessible statistics regarding the number of people either suspended or expelled for any crimes relating to sexual assault or harassment, while keeping the information of all parties involved completely confidential. These statistics shall be added to the existing data on the California School Dashboard, which aims to inform the community on whether or not schools are meeting state standards in education and discipline. At bare minimum, we require schools to post a rate at which students are suspended or expelled with no real expanded list on the reasons thereof. Therefore, the current data that is provided is insufficient. This list under our proposal shall include a section on the number of people suspended or expelled for all sex-related offenses. The privacy of all students would be absolutely protected, as it would only involve numbers, no names or other information that may reveal the identity of anyone that is a victim or anyone that has been suspended or expelled. It is essential that this information is provided to the public, as it will ensure transparency and thus encourage schools to pursue action in decreasing sexual assault and harassment incidents in fear of harming the school's reputation and thus turning away future students from possible enrollment. It is also in the rights of the students, and by extension the parents, to have this information in order to obtain a safer community. For a community ignorant of the extent of the problem can do nothing to effectively address it. By posting numbers, the schools would be responsible for addressing the problem in a meaningful manner, which will ensure student safety and resultantly allow parents to feel more comfortable sending their children to our public schools. This measure of accountability will allow schools to address the problem early on and possibly halt a toxic mindset that can only grow into future crimes when the students enter the outside world. It is the dashboard's purpose to hold schools accountable, and with this added information, it shall force schools to become accountable for the issues caused by sexual assault, for it is a student's fundamental right to feel safe on campus. The information will push the schools to address these issues, holding them liable for the behavior of their students, and thus allowing the community to feel more at ease with those in charge of my peers' future.
This proposal effectively addresses the lack of transparency and accountability surrounding sexual harassment across the state, which was identified as the core issue surrounding sexual assault and harassment by our delegation. We believe that posting clear steps for victims of sexual harassment and assault will ensure that students who are considering coming forward are informed of their rights and know that they are supported both morally and legally by their community. The presence of these posters in commonly frequented areas of the school would normalize healthy conversations around sexual harassment and assault. Currently, students are widely unaware of their rights and the protocols surrounding accusations of sexual misconduct, and would only find their full extent after lengthy research into the subject. The ease of access of this information could be the difference between a crime going unreported and a perpetrator being brought to justice. The content of these posters will prepare students for future encounters, something that is implicit in the definition of education. The revision to the California Health Framework works symbiotically with our proposal. The conversations in the classroom incited by the updated health framework will be extended outside of the classroom and into the students' greater lives by the published protocols to be posted in the common areas of schools.
The implementation of these posted protocols in every school and the addition to this section of the dashboard promote transparency surrounding sexual misconduct in schools across the state, and terminate the toxic climate that is perpetuated without them. This proposal provides a unique opportunity for the people of California to protect the future generations from the pains of the past. Thank you.
Thank you. Very well presented. Mr. Chair?
Yeah, thank you. Again, very well presented. Very good job. Just a couple, maybe a comment and a question. With regard to the information campaign, I absolutely agree with you. That should be done now. It shouldn't require a law. I think any proactive school leader would be doing that right now, and it would be done on an ongoing basis so that all the students would know the policy, be able to see the policy, and appreciate and respect the policy. So I very much appreciate that. With regard to the data, where you want to parse it apart, take it apart into different directions, what would that prove? Let's say a school has high numbers, or even a school has low numbers. What do you think that would prove? What would one do with that data? Do you know at this point?
I think the way that our group and our delegation were envisioning it is it was more just information rather than like proving a point as to whether a school had a higher percentage than other schools, because it's important to take into account that schools are often in various different communities with various different backgrounds. So it's not so much proving that one school has more than the other, or one school is better than the other. It's mostly just to keep the students and the parents informed about exactly what they're stepping into, what's going on around them, regardless of not whether it's happening exactly to them.
Okay, excellent answer. Thank you.
Other questions or comments?
I just had a question on it. And I agree with everything that the chair said. So I know colleges have to report to the federal government. So is your data going to be like the same categories as the federal government? Have you taken a look at that? Or I know you just crunched this like the last couple of days, right? So yeah.
In our proposal, we were expecting that we wanted to put it under the expulsion and suspension numbers just to further clarify. So right now it's not really, nothing's really listed. It's just suspension and expulsions. There's not
So
really
just,
reasoning.
so that's it. So does, even if, because a lot of expulsions have nothing to do with, you know, being a sexual predator, so.
So we just wanted to have it listed out specifically. So there was no miscommunication or any way to kind of look at it and not understand what's happening.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. So I want to make sure I understand what you're asking for. Oh, sorry. No, go right ahead. Probably going to get to what I... Oh, okay, very good. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Gotcha. So my question is, right now you say that there's no way to know what the sexual assault or harassment policies are on campus because it's not posted. Is that correct?
I have never seen anything posted.
Okay. If you wanted to know what the policy was, is there any avenue to find out what the policy is?
I'm sure they're supposed to be posted in like schools. Most schools have them posted somewhere. It's just very difficult to access, and a big part of our proposal is to make it accessible.
Well, I agree with you 100%. And sometimes we can stop bad behavior by making sure people are educated on that bad behavior. So I'm very interested in your proposal, and after this, and when you have time, I'd like you to speak with my staff and see if there's something we can move forward. Assemblymember Smith and then Senator Durazo.
Thank you. So I think what you've achieved by tying this to dashboard reporting is kind of the sweet spot of the legislative process sometimes, and that is, how do you ensure a measure of accountability? And there is no greater incentive for a district to tackle a problem than to be accountable to report on that problem. And so I think I would be happy to work in conjunction with Senator Leiva's office on ensuring that we are able to move you forward on this.
Very good. Senator Durazo?
Yeah, I'm ignorant of this. Is a sexual assault protocol required now?
Yes.
In all the schools? So you're taking the next step, which is what is supposed to exist, that to make it accessible to the students. And have you, I think it's a follow-up to Senator Leiva's question, is have you encountered a difficulty in getting access to it in the schools where you've discussed this?
Personally, if I were to have to report an assault, I wouldn't know how to do that. I don't know the proper protocol. I would probably be embarrassed to go talk to someone, and I would be kind of scared in a way. Regardless of being assaulted, I would be scared to tell a trusted adult because I'm not sure what the proper protocol is.
And do you have access to other protocols, like handbooks, or are there other ways in which other policies or procedures are communicated to students?
If I may comment, I remember in the beginning of this school year that we have a daily bulletin at our high school where it reads the news. And I do remember in the beginning they mentioned something about it. However, it hasn't really been mentioned again, and I have no idea where to go for anything. It was mentioned once and kind of never mentioned again.
Yeah, my question was, on other subjects, policies and procedures on other subjects, are those communicated or done in a broader way or given out to other people, not specifically the sexual assault?
Yeah, for bullying, there's a lot of bullying posters. I could go into any classroom and there's this We Tip poster, and it has like a cell phone, and there's like a cyber bully, and then it has the phone number, and you can contact it anonymously. And that in itself, I think, is a step in the right direction. So I think we would like to have something very similar where it's not necessarily like protocol in legislative language that high schoolers can't understand. It's something that's accessible, something that's understandable, that would take a step in the right direction towards making everything transparent and making it an issue that isn't so much, I'm embarrassed, I don't know who to talk to. It's, I'm scared, but I know exactly who I need to talk to, how to communicate it. Thank you.
Very good. Let's talk further. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.